everybody, it's Chris Eads, known online as Wootini, here with another Gay Gamer video podcast, and we have a lot to talk about, so I'm just going to rush right into it. I saw 3 movies over the weekend. First, I got out of work early on Friday, so I went to see Top Gun, Maverick, and I went to see it in IMAX. So I went, after work on Friday at 4 o'clock, so it was not as crowded. And it was actually surprisingly good. I feel like it was better than it had any right to be. It's kind of the same movie. It hits a lot of the same beats as the original Top Gun. But if it's not broke, don't fix it, I guess. Obviously, the action scenes were phenomenal. It's like, how did they film this? Oh my god. And on the big IMAX screen with the jet engines rattling the seats, that was really impressive. But it also had a surprising amount of heart. It actually, found some emotional beats, and you're like, okay. So, yeah, surprisingly good. Who knew? And then on Saturday I did a double feature. And, because of AMC A-List, why not? Friday and Saturday, I saw 3 movies, and that's my limit. You can only see 3, but I rarely ever do this, so that was the first time I think it's ever happened. First, I saw Watcher, which is a little indie horror movie thriller. This woman moves to Romania with her husband because he has work there, and she doesn't speak the language, and she feels like a fish out of water, and she can't communicate with anybody, and there's a guy in the building across the street that's staring at her all the time, and basically she's like, this is messed up and scary, and then people, sort of believe her, but then she takes it too far, and she gets even more paranoid, and then they're like, okay, now you're just being ridiculous, and the movie kind of keeps you guessing, is she crazy, is she imagining it, and then she's watching him, and he's watching her, and it's the whole big thing, and it was actually pretty good. It was co-produced by Shudder, so it might end up on Shudder streaming, within a couple of months, the way that a lot of movies do now. Paramount, Top Gun's going to be on Paramount Plus within a couple of months, probably. So Watcher was a good, I don't know if you should go to the theater for it, with Top Gun, where you want that on a big screen, you don't want to watch that on Paramount Plus. Watcher you can watch on TV, and it's fine. Then I saw Crimes of the Future, the new David Cronenberg movie, where he's going back to body horror, and it was okay, I guess. I mean, I didn't hate it, but I wasn't blown away by it, so it's sort of very average, which isn't exactly a stellar recommendation, I suppose. It's nice to see David Cronenberg getting back to his roots, but it was weirdly, sometimes the dialogue would explain everything in every little detail, and it felt really awkward and strange, because it's like, why are you explaining so much of this? And then there's a whole bunch of stuff that just isn't explained at all, and you're left going, huh? Also, I appreciate that he's still using, physical, practical effects, but a lot of times there's, slicing into flesh, and it's CGI, and it just looks fake and lame, because CGI is fake and lame. So I was worried what David Cronenberg was going to do with CGI now, because it's like your whole imagination can run wild, but it didn't. So, I mean, if you're a David Cronenberg fan and you like that kind of thing, you might want to check it out. Otherwise, probably don't. I don't know. Now, as for games, I almost quit Shenmue 2. I have to be honest with you. I reached a point where you're investigating and you're trying to find this guy, and they're like, we will take you to him if you give us $500. And I'm just like, what? And I looked online, and there's no way around it. There's no other way to get to the guy. You have to give them $500. And I'm just like, I have 60. What do you want from me? So, I very nearly was like, fuck this game. Like, I'm not grinding to get money because the part-time job doesn't pay that much, and I'm not good at the gambling. The Lucky Hit is I'm terrible at Lucky Hit, so I was like, F this. However, I looked online, and there was a website, and they said the best way to quickly make money is with this gambling game called High or Low. And I'm like, okay, fair. So I basically found that, and then I would bet, and if I lost, I would just reload my previous save. And then if I won a bit, then I would save to lock in that money, and then if I lost, I would just reload that save. And thankfully, because it's an older game, the load times are like that. So I was able to, like, maybe like in a half hour or 45 minutes or so, I managed to get over $500, and I said, fine. So I was able to continue with the game, and I was able to get to Kowloon for the next chapter of the game. And so I may actually finish it this time. I am wondering, like, as you might recall in the previous episode where I mentioned that I don't remember anything about Shenmue 2, which is weird, because I did play it. But I'm not about to go and dig out my Dreamcast from whatever box in the closet and try to hook it up to a TV and see if the VMU even still has my save on it, because the battery is, like, ancient and it's probably all, I don't know, if it even works. Because I was curious, like, how far did I get? But I don't think I can find out, so I'm just going to leave that, whatever. But I do want to finish it. I didn't want to give up, and I wondered if that's where I gave up, where they're like, get $500, and I was like, fuck, and then I just never went back. Because that's the thing, is I knew that if I put it aside, I'd never go back. And I really would like to finish it this time. I also want to talk about the State of Play. Sony did a State of Play, and unfortunately, there wasn't a whole lot in there for me, personally, because, you know, I'm not excited about a Resident Evil 4 remake. I'm definitely not excited about another Street Fighter game. I don't do fighting games. Never have. And I've also kind of gone off Final Fantasy, so that was another big one that everyone's like, woohoo! And I'm like, eh. Like, I haven't played a Final Fantasy game in forever. So, there were only 2 games in there that I was like, oh, and they had, of course, they had the PSVR tease. They had some tease of some games that they were working on for PSVR 2. And I'm just like, I can't really get excited about a PSVR 2 when I still don't have a PS5, so whatever. There were only 2 games in there that I was at all interested in, really, but I already knew about them, so they weren't, like, reveals. The first one is Stray, which looks great, but I am a little wary that, like, there's platforming and stuff, and I'm not great at platforming, so I'm a little worried that my cat won't be as agile as others. And then the other one is Seasons, which I was already into, and then they had this trailer, which was like an extended trailer with more footage, and now I'm even more into it. It just looks lovely. I love the art style, and it just looks fantastic. So I'm very much looking forward to that one. And thankfully, they are both coming out for the PS4 as well as the PS5. Because now they're starting to have games that are just on the PS5, and I'm like, because you still can't get a PS5. I did read somewhere online an article claiming that, like, the chip shortage is getting better, and now you might be able to find one more easily, but we'll see. I don't think so. Maybe. I did get a little excited because I've been checking this website that my friend told me about. That's how he got his PS5. And basically just, like, it's a PS5 restock site, and it just lists all of the places like Best Buy and Amazon and Target and GameStop and whatever, and Sony itself, and then tells you whether or not it's in stock. And it's always been out of stock. But, like, a few days ago, I checked it, and it's like, it's in stock. And I went, where? And I scroll down, and it's in stock at Amazon. So I clicked the link to visit Amazon, and it's like $799. And I'm just like, no. Rude. That doesn't count. That's a reseller. But then I saw over in the corner, there's like, where it says from other sellers, it's like also available from Amazon for $4.99. And I'm like, well, that's the one I want. So I click that, and they're like, yeah, Amazon will sell it to you for $4.99, but you have to request an invitation. So I requested an invitation, and they're like, great, we'll get back to you like maybe in like 72 hours. And I was like, what? Like, it's available now. Like, 72 hours, it's too late. I don't know. So I went back and I actually was able to add the PS5 to my Amazon cart, my shopping cart, but it wouldn't let me check out because I didn't have my invitation. So, so now I'm hoping that perhaps this counts, like, in the future. Like, I'm just sort of hoping, like, maybe, like, in another month or two, I'll get, like, this random email from Amazon saying, hey, click here to buy your PS5. And I'll be like, woohoo! Kind of like the way that I mentioned this many episodes ago, that Sony was like, if you want a PS5, click here and give us your email, and we'll let you know when they're available, and we'll send you an invitation to buy one. I never got one. I did get a confirmation email saying, we've got your email, and we'll let you know when you can buy a PS5. That never happened. So, maybe I'll get a random email from Amazon at some point. I don't know. Or maybe I'll just never get a PS5. I don't know. Who knows? So that's it for this episode, and I will have more to talk about next time. Bye-bye!